Awesome. Well, good afternoon, everybody. We'll give it a few more minutes for everybody to join. We're right at the top of the hour where I am, and I think it's what, 6:30 your time. So thanks everybody for taking your afternoon. Let's do a tab here. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see.
Yes, it's visible. Yes, it's
great.
Yes,
Saskia wants, she can start streaming. The Saskia?
Yeah. Go ahead. We'll. I mean, we're gonna give it a little bit more time, but yeah, Saskia, if you want to say something for the team while everyone's joining.
हेलो गाइस, नमस्ते सभी को। मैं साक्षी नेक्सट्रायल टीम से हूँ। आप सभी का स्वागत है इस इवेंट में, जहां हम मिलकर भारत में क्लिनिकल ट्रायल्स की चुनौतियों पर चर्चा करेंगे और नए समाधान खोजेंगे। So, greeting of the day, I'm Sakshi from the NexTrial, and today we will have an interactive event about clinical trial in India and their challenges. So, during this event, polls will appear on the screen for you to answer. Don't forget to participate as they help us understand your perspective and improve how we can work. So the presenters, NexTrial CEO, can also ask some questions. If you have any thoughts of your own during the whole event, feel free to use the raise hand button or unmute your mic anytime to share. I hope everyone has a good event. And now I give the floor to the founder of NexTrial, Stephen Thompson. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sakshi. Amazing. Yeah, so again, thanks everybody for joining. Good afternoon. I'm Stephen Thompson, the founder of NexTrial AI, joined by Damini and our dream team from India. So we're really grateful to have you all here today in attendance. You've all hospitals, CROs, sponsors, regulators, and biotechs. Our mission is simple. Today, we're going to co-design how trust, transparency, and timing come together. So we'll build this session like an orchestra. Each of you will have a different instrument in India's readiness symphony, right? And by the end, I want each of you to leave thinking this is how we can activate sites smarter and not harder. So, think of NexTrial as an AI orchestration layer sitting quietly behind your systems, harmonizing protocols, documents, approvals, and activation data. Celina is our AI, and she's the conductor. She makes every decision she makes.
That's great, Steve. I want to add up this thing that Celina doesn't replace humans. She replaces missing context.
Exactly. So, yep, and we connect with hospitals, ethic portals, and we are platform agnostic and API native. So again, she sits behind all of the systems that you currently run. Oh, there you go, and that's Celina right there. So let's go ahead and jump over Damini. Are you?
Hello everyone, Damini Shahane from VeriTrial, powered by NexTrial. VeriTrial is basically a site and PI intelligence service. So as mentioned in slide, India's research capacity has exploded to 30% trial growth year on year, but our activation clock still runs slow. The gap is our opportunity.
Yeah, actually, delays don't just slow trials, it actually burns the capital. Every week we save, bring patient closer to care.
That's right. And the polls working? So what we wanted to do is just have a quick poll, right? Which step costs you the most time today? Is it protocol amendments, ethics routing, DUA or contracting, or documentation gap? Which slows you down the most? Again, feel free to, you might see a pop-up of the Google poll. Otherwise, feel free to put your answers or any comments into the chat, and everyone will be answering those and collecting those as well for the discussion. All right. Thank you. So what we have here is picture every trial packet bouncing between a CRO, the IEC, the ICMR, and CDSCO, right? Every bounce adds delays and sometimes weeks.
So Steve, in our mapping, 80% of that reworks come from missing rule validations before submission.
That's right, Perna. And when you think of delays, where does trust break first? Is it between the people, the process, or the policy? And again, feel free to raise your hand if you have any comments, or post any of your answers into the chat. What we wanted to do is really just capture, what that fragmentation rework means to you, right? From a hospital perspective, right? How often does your IEC requests clarifications that could have been auto-checked, right? From a CRO angle, right? Imagine if the CTO4 packets were pre-validated themselves before reaching CDSCO. On a biotech lens, right? What would a 30-day faster patient in mean for your burn rate? Grazi, are the polls working? Are you capturing? I can't see those, so.
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay. There we go. There's a poll. Great, there we go. Okay, yep, looks like got documentation gaps. Awesome. Okay, perfect. We've got a couple of answers. So if you see the little poll pop up, feel free just to click in. Again, this will help us really understand what that blueprint looks like from your perspective and your lens. So let's jump over to the next slide here. So that's really the challenge. And then the debate, right? We've just completed a sprint, and we've been doing debates. So these three kind of archetypes, is how we have been looking at this blueprint and zero rejection, right? We kind of put a name next to them. So Dr. Asha, the human oversight, right? Ethics before efficiency lens, right? No, Raul, he's a little bit more. There's always someone that is AI acceleration voice, where automation accuracy is important, not so much the judgment, right? We're automating accuracy, not judgment. Dr. Mira, again, another lens that we want to make sure we're taking all perspectives, diverse and inclusive, into our zero rejection blueprint. So, right, the balanced integration voice. The future reviewer is half scientist, half system architect. So these aren't really sides, they're speeds, right? And together they create a regulatory rhythm. So there should be another poll that pops up. Which voice do you personally identify with? That way we can understand the kind of the room, right? Are you all seeing this as ethics before efficiency, automation, accuracy before judgment, or a balance between that integration voices? If I can see that. So. Oh, okay, I can see him. Great. There we go. So it looks like we're even between oversight and a balance right now. That's great. So yeah, less IT in the room, which is great. All right, let's jump over to the next slide here. Oops. Bouncing between screens here. All right. So again, this is how we look at it. We're always bias testing. So Kanchan, from our CDS framework, yeah.
Yeah, hello everyone. So this is India's AI ready regulations, and here NDCTR 2019 gave us a rule book. We turned it into a machine readable logic, wherein we have 63 clauses indexed. The 22 forms were indexed, and 9 checkpoints were mapped, and that's where India's first explainable draft compliance graph was ready.
Awesome. Yeah, no, and this was amazing work, Kanchan. And this is how Celina knows what Rule 31 from Rule 47 is before we even upload. So would AI verified outputs help you review faster or raise any new questions? From this is kind of a question for the group. We're seeing that the verification step will allow reviews. Let's see if I can get this. I can't see the let's see. Boom. There we go. AI. So we're leaning towards yes. This would be very helpful. Great. And again, the chat. Feel free to jump in on the chat as well. So thank you. Awesome. And again, Grazi, if you're monitoring the chat, if anybody has any questions, feel free to jump in or pause me, and we can answer those immediately. So, there we go. Slide 7. Here we go. So regulation. So, Ravina, what did you learn about all those forms?
I think, Steve, every form from CT03 to CT16 now passes through one orchestration pipeline. The output is an audit-ready dossier with full version lineage.
Yeah. So instead of chasing signatures, imagine auditing readiness in real time, right? How many here would value a live readiness dashboard versus a static Excel tracker, right? And there should be a poll there as well, or feel free to raise your hand if you prefer live readiness dashboards or static trackers. Awesome.
Good morning. This is Giovanna. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey,
Good
Giovanna.
morning, team. Good morning. I just wanted to put some input. I think that the live tracker is absolutely amazing. Part of what people don't understand is how fast people truly move. We had a subject that relocated out of the country, didn't tell anyone, which made her immediately not eligible for our trial because we couldn't ship out internationally. So live dashboards would allow real-time updates for things like addresses and just things that you wouldn't think make a big shift in the day, but it does.
Awesome. No, thanks for that input. Exactly, especially in multi-site scenarios where you're having multiple jurisdictional and ethical submissions as well. So that's great. Any other comments, team? Anybody else on the call? So now let's jump over to what we found about the return on investments. Oops, let me get this out of the way. So Sakshi, what did you find about the return on investment and the proof in the number?
Yeah, so I think ROI isn't theoretical anymore now because our Indian pilot showed 3%, 300% ROI and 3 months faster activation cycle. So yes, that's what proofs in number look like.
Awesome. No, and this is again all of the data that we've seen being able to verify and pull forward verifiable data. Every day saved equals capital earned, especially for biotechs chasing that first patient in. So we're seeing AI return on investment in this space accelerating rapidly and very fast returns. So from a debate, so right, bringing those three kind of archetypes back to the table, right? The Asha's concern, the trust in AI outputs, or scaling explainability, the Raoul's lens, or Mira's question, right? Where do you draw the line, right? Now let's open up the floor. This is a roundtable, so let's open up the floor to the people who actually live this on their day-to-day lives, the builders of India's readiness engine. Here, what we want to do is really take a quick 2-minute reflection from three amazing voices, a CRO, a hospital, a biotech, on how zero rejection feels from their side of the table. So again, I'd like to invite a few people in if you're comfortable. We'll keep it tight, just really one insight each. Think of it as a 60 seconds to truth moment, right? The thing you wish regulators, sponsors, or innovators all understood. I'm going to try and find the list of who is an attendee here. We have Arvind. Arvind, are you on the call? Let me see. I can't see who all the people are on the call. Anybody want to speak from a hospital perspective? Bansi Patel or Sarif? If anybody wants to jump in, what we really want to kind of discuss on this kind of debate is, right, where do you feel the biggest friction lies today, right? What would you trust AI to look like, right? Not replacing oversight, but reinforcing it. Does anybody want to come off a mic? Raise your hand and comment.
Good morning. I have a comment. I was just trying to be patient. So the biggest disconnect, speaking from a U.S. contract research organization standpoint, is the budget. The sponsors are very disconnected on how much it truly takes to run a clinical trial. They give us about 100 pieces of information and tell us to hit the community. We then have to go get thousands of more color copies. We have to find staff to work the event in the evening. We have to have people track the information coming in. AI could help with the minute one of these line items is activated in the budget, it could set to create a invoice. We're so busy doing our job, AI could assist when we actually do something we get paid for. And right now it's such a hosh-posh and we have to get the money so many other places, it's very hard to get circled back. So I could see AI aligning directly with budgeted line items and immediately being activated with whatever proof the sponsor requested. And that's still being a direct line of being useful and helpful and not replacing humans, but assisting.
Awesome. Awesome. No, thanks, Giovanna. Giovanna is a leader of CRO in the United States and a member of the Harvard Medical School as well. So thanks for that perspective, Giovanna. You live this every single day, so this is great. Not replacing oversight, but reinforcing it. Does anybody want to, anybody from a biotech lens want to chime in, right? Where time is currency. I didn't see Vikas. Vikas, are you on the call? No, he's not. I don't see him. Can anybody speak to it from a biotech perspective? So yeah, I mean, really from a biotech, right? It's usually races on when the funding lands. The race is on to get that first patient in. So the readiness intelligence, the faster visibility to first patient in during pre-IRB or pre-CDSO has been very, very attractive in changing that activation speed for that investor confidence. So this is what we've heard from teams in globally from a biotech perspective. You know, and you've seen the funnel, right? 120 days to 45 days. And that acceleration really means the next round of funding or a board discussion, right? Nobody wants the board discussion. Everybody wants their next round of funding. So from a CRO perspective, from a hospital perspective, you know, getting trials activated and through the pipeline faster allows you all and everybody to focus in on the patients. So again, 3 different perspectives, 1 different rhythm. You know, sometimes people aren't always comfortable coming off of mics, but thanks Giovanna for jumping in. So again, now how do we really connect those dots in real time, right? So if you had to come up with 3, we have another poll. Would that be speed, integrity, or confidence? And feel free to post your answers into the chat so we can capture that and understand, you know, again, from a roundtable perspective, getting everybody's inputs. Integrity.
So I want to add one reflection here. What we are seeing here isn't just data, it's alignment. The moment we agree on one language, the process starts writing itself. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Akshay. Yeah, and zero. Yeah, go for it, Damini.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with Sakshi. Zero rejection isn't about removing humans, it's about removing human rework.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So from another poll for the room, which part of the process should always stay human-led, and which one should be automated first? Should it be, you know, protocol aware? Should it be CDSCO documentation? Ethics? Oop, I lost the. I can't see the poll, but I did see it pop up there. So if you guys could chime in there, which part of the process? There we go. Let's see if I can click it. Yeah, there we go. Which part of the process should always stay human? Right, protocol aware, the CDSCO documentation, or the ethics. Yeah, I just want to click the little radio button to vote. We'll share all of these at the end of the call. Protocol aware, yep. Protocol adherence is something that you know, is of the utmost importance for regulatory as well. Awesome. Okay, so jumping over to slide 10 here, from verification to value. You know, let's climb that ladder, right? Efficiency, as we mentioned on the last slide, enablement and intelligent, where you know, operational wins come first, but strategic trust is the real ROI, right?
So Steve, when compliance became data-driven, every audit becomes predictable.
Awesome. So I think there's another poll that pops up there. You know, which layer matters most to you right now? Is it efficiency, compliance, or strategy? You know, could you show a compliance? Yeah. Yeah, if you could show a sponsor a real readiness score as part of every proposal, imagine that. Compliance, yeah. Awesome. All right, so as we jump over, so kind of again, now, again, we're in a roundtable discussion. So
Yeah, so I think it's time to hear from all the attendees. We will run a few live polls and open mics. Please raise your hand and we will call you all in order. Let's co-design the India Readiness Index right here. So the questions on the screens are, the first one is, where do you see the biggest readiness gaps? People, process, or policy? Then the second one, how could AI improve your regulatory teams day to day? And the third one is, how could AI improve your regulatory teams day to day? And the last one is, how would you define zero rejection for India?
You all can think of this as the rehearsal before policy change.
awesome. So again, if anybody has any wants to kind of participate in this discussion, you know, please just raise your hand, and we'd love to hear from each and every one of you. We've got a shy room today. A lot of compliance though. Now I'm over just looking at the chat. This is great. This is great. Oh, Sharif just left. All right. Does anybody want to chime in, answer any of those questions? Right? Where are you guys seeing the, you know, your biggest readiness gap? You know, are you seeing the friction with people? You know, having overworked meetings, follow-ups, and you know, things that can and should be designed and verified, cross-referenced using AI, or within the process itself, something that can and should be automated, or the policy. You know, if you're seeing the policy, there you go, Sai.
I think the biggest readiness gap is mainly in the people's due to the awareness of the clinical trial and how it could help them. That being said.
Okay, so from a patient perspective, right? So making sure that you have the way I hear you, what you're saying is, you know, informed consent forms, community engagements, and having better perspective of the patient population and perspective of those patients as you engage them, the benefits, and what it's going to take to participate in that trial, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, and that's why we see a lot of memes flying around the internet about informed consent forms, you know, written in a boardroom in Boston for a, you know, or, you know, in a conference room somewhere else, you know, for people on the ground. So yeah, it is important to have the perspective of the D&I, the diverse and inclusion and community engagement, because those are the people that are truly committing and contributing to the trial and to the trial success. So, hey, Sharif, welcome back. Do you want to jump in and you know, how could AI improve your regulatory teams day to day? All right. Anybody else? Anybody else want to chime in? All right. Well, let's jump to the next slide then. Oop. Next slide. So as we, here's what we're hearing, right? The emerging consensus, right? And it's inspiring that AI will be assistive, not authoritative, that compliance is continuous verification and not a static audit, that readiness is traceable, explainable, and team-driven, right? So again, looking at those three different segments, again, the ethical rigor is ensuring that that human oversight is still important and present, that the process velocity is there with the AI acceleration, and yet, you know, balanced integration. So making sure that that trust is governed. So I think we have another poll. So which pillar best represents? Yeah, there it is. Perfect. Which pillar best represents your organization's focus today out of those three?
So I want to add a comment over here that our strength is diversity of speed and not uniformity. And here I want to ask a question also, that does this balance reflect your organization's comfort zone?
Awesome. And yeah, again, everybody feel free to raise your hand if you want to jump in and talk, or post comments into the chat. Awesome. All right, well, let's move on forward. We have, let me get back over to this slide here. Great. So again, now's the action time, right? With AI, we're able to do 30+ days to form an Indian pilot network, 3 CROs, 2 hospitals, 60 days, launch readiness scorecards version 1s for those specific CROs or hospitals. In 90 days, publish the full India Zero-Rejection Blueprint report, right? Each pilot we have with Celina is a sandbox, and your data stays yours within our Celina Foundation model, and insights get smarter with every single approval and flow. So really, who's ready to lead the first pilot wave as we design this new Zero Rejection Blueprint together? All right, and again, our amazing team here in India. I want to close with something special. So, you know, personal. You know, I worked across continents, and I can tell you, India's combination of intellect, integrity, and ambition is unmatched. And the Zero Rejection isn't just a framework. It's our chance to show the world what transparency, science looks like at scale.
Yes, Jeevan, I absolutely agree with you. We have proven it's possible. Now we will prove it's repeatable.
Let's make compliance beautiful. That's what I can conclude with.
Awesome. Thank you. So again, you know, you fund the science, we activate the network, and you know, thank you for building this future with us together. So if anybody has any questions, again, this roundtable was designed for a little bit more interaction and debate. So without, you know, with a lot of people chatting with inside of the chat, we were able to finish a little bit early today. So again, reach out to us. We'll send this presentation out for everybody as a thank you. And we'd love to hear from you if you'd like to learn anything more about the Zero-Rejection Blueprint, our audit findings, our CDSCO framework from our EPIC 2, and follow our journey, as we build the next generation AI co-pilot Celina in India.
Hello, Steven. We have one question in the chat box. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
Yes. As per ethical considerations, AI may lack human judgment, empathy, and moral reasoning, which are crucial for making complex decisions in clinical settings. What are your views on it? It is asked by Mr. Sharif Islam.
Yeah, Sharif. Yeah, great. No, and what we're looking for here, Sharif, is AI for regulatory compliance, understanding and learning the protocol, and simply doing verifications of your protocol, your operations, and your submissions data. So no clinical diagnosis, treatment, or a patient interaction is being done with our AI. Purely a verification and regulatory audit, compliance and explainability. So that way, when Celina will perform the 80% of the work to get all the documents ready, and then hand it to the coordinator to do the 80% of the value, which is 20% of the work, to read it, verify, agree, and do the submission. So at each point, the way we see it at NexTrial is Celina is the co-pilot. She understands, she guides for the coordinators, for the physicians, for the principal investigators, but she makes no decisions. She only predicts and suggests, helps guide what is the workflow for day one on a specific trial. What is the workflow for day 5 on a protocol, and being able to do that with natural language instead of having to read the protocol and match it up against the SOPs on a day-to-day basis. Additionally, she's able to manage protocol amendments, SOP addendums in real time, and alert you to the red lines without having to and all explainable and verifiable and auditable. So instead of having a 190-page protocol amendment come across your email, she will generate and deliver the protocol amendment, but a summarized version of that and what it means to you at your site with your procedure and your current schedule of visits.
Hi, Stephen. There's a term in clinical research called blinded and unblinded. And for those familiar with clinical research, you have to think of Celina as blinded. She's never going to see like the drug or anything that could harm the study. So he set up a system so that there's not going to be any patient interaction, and it's almost like a blinded monitor, if that helps separate the two.
Awesome. No, thanks for that clarity. Yeah, and as you can see here, the main focus for Celina is before day 1, setting up the site, setting up the regulatory, and getting to you as a coordinator, you as a principal investigator, and you as the sponsor, getting you through the pipeline of that funnel to first patient in, and then the real work begins. So the setup, match, and activate process all the way to first patient in, it can be predictable, can be verified, and needs to be regulatory compliant based on the jurisdiction of where your site is, and protocol adhere to the protocol. And this is with the strength and focus of Celina.
Yeah, hi, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you are telling that you will be like getting the first patient. So in that case, there will be assessing the eligibility criteria.
Right.
So for that criteria, matching the eligibility criteria, we need the patient details.
Right. De-identify patient details for
Yeah.
the eligibility.
So in that case, how we can like save like the security data privacy part, that if any patient data details are being leaked or not. In that case.
Right. So Celina handles no PHI, no patient health records or health information. She only manages the patient prediction against the eligibility of the protocol, and then provides an anonymized, de-identified cohort for the setup, match, and activate. So the sponsor and the CRO during the feasibility can identify the specific cohort that is eligible based on the EHR data. And that anonymized data can be transferred over for quick first patient in. So you'll know exactly how many patients are eligible, and you will be able to start your recruitment plan on day one. Thus, decreasing the time for first patient in and beginning the patient recruitment planning, because you have that as baseline eligible patient records that have been predicted in advance of IRB. So again, I'm just going to reinforce, no patient data is ever inside of Celina. She actually forbids and blocks all patient data, and she only predicts based on the eligibility of the EHR system. We do have patient anonymized safe harbor integrations to capture the patient records from hospitals and from major academic institutions. But again, at no time does she maintain any patient PHI data.
Will Celina AI can assess the severity of adverse events or like serious adverse events?
No, she can interact with you and create an SAE document and get based on your inputs, and then she hands you that as a Word document. You complete with your patient data in your system and submit it in your system. So she'll make sure she can create the document for you, and then you fill it out.
As per the regulatory updates, can it be updated regularly? Like regularly, can we get an update on the regulatory considerations?
Yes, all regulatory. So we have a regulatory adapter that monitors all regulatory laws inside of each jurisdiction. So in India, CDSCO, CONAP, ICMR, and any regulatory changes are automatically consumed inside of the site's data. So if there's an SOP that needs to be changed, she does a red line. If the protocol changes, she does a red line. If any change happens from a regulatory, a protocol, or a site data, she will do a red line and proactively alert the coordination team and team on the ground to those red lines proactively. Yeah. And, Sarif, we are, as I mentioned earlier, we do have integrations. So building a TMF file, integrating to an ECOE, doing those type of integrations is something that we are platform agnostic. Again, we're the layer underneath, behind the data management systems. So we don't manage, Celina does not manage any patient data. She does not manage any documents of the trial, but she can help draft, write, and help you execute those. So what is the concomitant medicine what is the week 12 echocardiogram schedule, anything that you need to ask. She has protocol aware, site awareness, and she can support to reduce the queries on protocols and feasibility and operating procedures. So all of your CTAs, she can support any CTA activity and monitor those activities on your behalf. Awesome. Any other questions? Oh, Damini.
No questions from my side.
Okay.
It is all well explained.
Great. All right. Well, everybody, thank you very much for joining. Again, if this was, we'll send out the presentation, and our findings, and we'll synthesize the results of our findings. And if there's any questions or feedback, or anybody wants to engage with us to help contribute and to our zero rejection blueprint for CDSCO, or join us in a pilot with inside of India, we're open for those engagements. So again, thank you very much, everybody, and have a wonderful day. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephen, and thank you so much, all of you.
Okay.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much, all of you.
Y'all rocked. Thanks. Ciao. All right, there we go. Oh, boops.